Good wintry morning, YouTube. My name is Kim Ford, and welcome to my first video. I am a nervous wreck, so please bear with me. I am not comfortable in front of the camera. I rarely have my picture taken, and I never ever film myself, so I'm kind of surprised to be sitting here doing this, but here I am. So I'm sitting here this morning, and where I am, it is blustery, wintry, cold. Watching out my sliding glass door as snow is blowing in every direction. It's really cold. The temperatures are dropping throughout the day, and it's early in the morning. And it's just going to keep getting colder, and wind chills in the negative numbers, 20 degrees below zero wind chills. So I thought today would be a good day to stay inside and work on my first video. So as I said, it's my first video. I need to learn how to not say I need to learn how to not roll my eyes up while I think, because that is something I tend to do. So please bear with me. But I am here because I have been watching author tubers, booktubers, and YouTube in general for many years, and it's my first go-to whenever I decide that I want to learn something. I pull up YouTube and I find videos on it in every single subject of my life. So when I decided that I wanted to kind of chronologically show my author's journey, this was the perfect spot for me to do that. There are a lot of author tubers out there. They are young, they're beautiful, they're prolific, they're already published, many of them. They are very knowledgeable, and I don't in any way, shape, or form think that I will be able to compete with that. But I don't need to. I just need to be able to come on here and do my thing, whatever that thing turns out to be. So I hope that there are people out there who will enjoy my channel, who will join me, subscribe, and follow along with me as I start this journey. And I really am starting the author journey, starting from the very beginning of whether to go indie published or traditional, the pros and cons of both, and then why I make the decision that I do, and then starting through that process. I want to have this be a hands-on channel. So rather than me sitting here talking, I want most of my videos to be me showing you my process, showing you what I do, rather than me giving 5 pointers for this or 10 pointers for that. There are authors who do that, and I don't know that I can compete with that or offer anything new. Not necessarily compete or offer anything new, I guess is what I want to say. But I want to actually make this about the journey. So how I start and how I end up getting published, and hopefully beyond. I write sweet contemporary romance, think Hallmark Christmas movie, and I'm currently writing my first romantic suspense. And quite frankly, I think I have found my soulmate genre. I am lost and thoroughly loving the romantic suspense writing process. I adore it. Hopefully I will be able to make it suspenseful enough that people will love to read it. I will probably stay in this genre for the most part and not write nearly as many sweet contemporaries as I had originally planned. And I'll talk about that too, finding that niche, finding that genre that works for you and sticking with it rather than bouncing all over the place. We'll talk about that and what are the pros and cons of finding your niche and building your brand, talking about branding, websites, building a website, what goes into that, newsletters, why are they important, plotting, how do I plot, not just what is involved in plotting, but actually doing several part videos showing you my plotting process. The same with the revision. When I went to do the revisions for the novel that I'm currently working on, I could not find any videos that specifically walked through step by step by step what the revision process was for this person or that person. And that's what I wanted. I'm a very visual learner. And I found revision videos who gave an overview of what they do, but not the hands-on kind of process that I wanted. So I put my own process together. It is still being refined, but I want to do several videos on what that process is. in the course of all of these things, I want it to be an interactive channel. And by that I mean, as I'm showing you my revision process, I want to hear from you. If you are a writer and you have a revision process, what do you do? How can I streamline my process? Because I by no means have all the answers. And that's the whole point to this. I'm not coming to you with answers. I'm coming to you with questions, and then let's figure them out. So when we talk about newsletters, rather than me coming to you and saying, this is why you need it, this is what you have to do, this is why you use them, I'm going to come to you and go, okay, why do we need this? What can we do to make them work for us? And what do you do as an author with your newsletters? Do you even use a newsletter? Where do you go for it? What is BookBub? What is BookFunnel? How do they work? These are all things that as an indie author, I've never even explored. As a traditional author, I don't know that a lot of them use some of these things. So they're all the types of things that I think need to be discussed and talked about in more detail, and using this channel as an interactive kind of channel. I am hoping to build a community of other authors who are willing to come in and share their experiences, whether in comments or actually on my video. I would love to be able to do interviews with other authors, whether they're romance, YA, whatever they do, and talk about what their process is. So here's my process. What do you do? Well, okay, I do this. How do you handle that kind of thing? How do you handle rejection? How do you handle bad reviews? These are all things part of the author journey that I don't know that people really think about until they're actually in the trenches and doing it. And that's why I want to do this channel. I want to be a part of the community, which I hope will embrace this place. And I want to be able to share what I learn and to learn from everyone out there. I hope over time that my readers will eventually come in and find out, okay, how does she build those characters? How did this character come to life? How did this character pop in her head? How did this character develop? And just be able to share all of that with my readers and other authors. I'm really, really excited about being a part of this, even though it is hard for me to be sitting here in front of this camera. I think I'm finally figuring out where to look. I've been doing a lot of practice videos, and when I first started doing them, I couldn't figure out where to look. I thought I was looking at the camera, and I'd do a playback, and my eyes were over here, or over there, and they were all over the place. But I think I finally figured out where it is I'm supposed to be looking, which is kind of distracting. But anyway, so part of what I want to do is build a community. I don't want to just sit here and point out the different things that I think are important. I want to hear from others and what they think are important points that need to be addressed. I'd love to hear from readers. What do you readers want? Especially if you are a reader of either sweet contemporary or romantic suspense. What do you want to see in a book? I would love to hear from that. I would love to maybe do an interview with a reader, one of the booktubers who would like to come on and talk about, okay, what's important to them in a book? You know, as an author, I can sit here and say, well, I know what I like in a book. And as authors, we get together. I have my critique group, I have my accountability group, and we all know what we like in a book, but sometimes we get bogged down in the minutia and the perfectionism of a word. You know, is this a word a better choice? I can't tell you how many times I've sat with my critique group and we've talked about whether sharp or jagged is a better word. And as a reader, does that really matter to you? If the story is told well, does it matter? What kind of stories would you like to see? If you are a reader of romantic suspense, I would love to have you come on and talk about what you enjoy about a romantic suspense. What is it? Is it the suspense? Is it the romance? What is the strongest point to that? So I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of thoughts on where I want the channel to go. A couple of other things that I'll probably touch on are Scrivener. I love Scrivener, and I know there are a lot of people out there who either hate it or are intimidated by it, and I really don't think there's any reason to be intimidated by it. You just start out small. And I know there are tutorial videos out there as well, but those are very generic, and I would rather do some videos actually showing you how I use it. why, because I don't use all of the tools that are available. There is a lot in Scrivener that I haven't figured out, and I may or may not ever figure out. But I do use quite a few of the tools, and I'd love to be able to show you how I use them and how I built up. I didn't just jump into Scrivener and start using all these tools. I started using it as the word processing system that it was, and then I started learning more things. I watched more videos, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I wonder if I could use that in mine. So I want to kind of share how I personally use Scrivener for plotting and my revision process. I also want to talk about my other love, which is planning. So I have a planner that I love to decorate because if it's pretty, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to use it. But I don't call it my planner. It is my writing workbook. So it has my planner. It has my notes for whatever work in progress I have. It keeps my blog post, not my personal blog post, but blog posts that I find that I really love. I have a blog post in there about MRUs and why they're important and how to use them, which I will talk about one day on that subject as well. I have all kinds of information in this planner. It is my work Bible, and I will be showing that. I'll have some plan with me videos that I do using that planner, and I'll just kind of walk you through how it's set up. So there are a lot of different things that I want to do that are all somehow hopefully tie back into writing and the writer's life. I thought it would be fun too to do a vlog of what my day looks like, which really is kind of boring. So I don't know, I might not do that. We'll maybe do the video and see how it turns out. But like I said, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be a part of the community. I really hope that you will come in, subscribe, join me, offer comments, suggestions, ideas. I am open to all of it. So I thank you very much for being here. I thank you very much for taking the time to listen. I will be trying to post to start out with probably just once a week, and then kind of see how it goes from there. I don't know what's involved in the editing process. My video qualities are probably not going to be stellar at first, and hopefully you'll bear with me as I learn and I grow. And be with me from the beginning. Be able to sit here and watch me grow and say, wow, I remember when you hated being in front of the camera. So anyway, I hope you have a warm day wherever you happen to be. And if you are anywhere where it is going to be below 0 over the next few days, stay inside, be warm, be happy, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.